Aidan, I'm curious, your teammates have been very outspoken about AP, with their support of him, their thoughts on him. What would it mean to you to see AP get named the head coach?
Yeah, I think, since I took over and was able to start playing, I think AP has been a huge supporter of mine. And obviously he's a defensive coach, but throughout the game, throughout practice, is, like I said, a constant supporter. So AP has been awesome to me since I've gotten here. Like I mentioned before, during the preseason, he would speak to the rookies before each preseason game, and that had an impact on me before that was kind of my only, interaction with him. It wasn't really any individual before that. So that was really, since I got here, you could tell he loves football. Obviously, his pedigree speaks for himself. So.
You didn't play, I guess, them the first time, but what did you learn, I guess, just from watching Denver?
Yeah, obviously it feels like a long time ago. A lot has changed, but a division opponent, a really good team with good players at each level that we need to be aware of. So I think we're doing a good job of scouting them, trying to understand who we're playing against this week, and it's going to take a great game for us. They're obviously a good team that's obviously won some games this year, so it's going to take a lot from us.
How important is it for this offense to make a statement in the final game of the year because there's so many young guys, just about where the future is going with this offense?
Yeah, I think, for the offense in particular, it's been up and down, of course. 1 week we'll have a good week, and the next we won't execute as well. And so I think we've done a good job of not turning the ball over, and in that aspect we're doing a good job. But I think, like you said, it's going to take hopefully a statement at the end of the year to give us some momentum. But it's one game at a time, even now. So we're trying to focus on that.
How much have you learned in the time you've been a starter?
A lot. It's the ability to get, I think, practice reps throughout the week is huge. Something I didn't know how valuable that was before I was playing, and then obviously to be out there in the game to, just get out there when the real bullets are flying, I think is huge. And those game reps are priceless, and I think they're very valuable. So I try to learn as much as possible. It's been crazy. I've definitely maybe learned more this year in football than a lot of years in the past, but it's been a fun process.
Because so much has changed, both teams personnel-wise, since week one, do you find yourself looking at more recent tape of Denver that's helpful, or do you go back and look at the week one stuff?
Yeah, I think it's a combination of both of those things. Both of those things. Obviously, like I said, it was many weeks ago that we played, and tendencies and teams change, even personnel changes throughout the year. But we can still learn a lot from the first game we played of how they like to play certain players or situational football, things like that. So we're trying to use everything we can to our advantage.
Aidan, which quarterbacks at the position do you kind of try to study and pull from, and do you even have time to do that during the season, or is that something you look more towards once the year's over?
Yeah, I think because of the nature of what we do, I think we watch a lot of film, obviously, about our opponent and the games they've played prior, and so naturally you're watching other quarterbacks play, and so it's fun to watch other guys play and see. Normally we're looking at what has been successful against the team we're going to play, and also what hasn't been. And so, even just throughout the week, it's not as much for just entertainment purposes, but more so for studying the opponent. You watch other quarterbacks play, so that is a fun part of what we do. Get to see what other teams are doing, how they attack certain defenses.
I talked to Bo about this yesterday, but you have done a very good job throughout the year progressing and taking care of the football. What are some things that they taught you to help you with that? Because you're a different guy today than you were at the beginning.
Yeah, I think just playing with it myself, I think, is the biggest thing. I think, like I said before, the practice reps are extremely valuable. The game reps of, just week to week seeing what windows are open and whether, maybe a little too tight to throw into, and, just trying to put as much as I can in the bank and remember. And I think being able to learn from experiences, even failure sometimes, is super helpful. So you learn, you fail, and you learn, and, normally you try not to make the same mistake twice.
There's a lot of uncertainty about what's going to happen after the season. How do you try to put that to the side and focus on what you have to do?
Yeah, I think I've said it before. I think just each week has so much. It's a busy schedule. There's a lot of studying that I know I have to do to get ready to play the game, and so it's almost a blessing that there's so much that there is to do, because you really can't think of anything else in the future. And so we're going to take it, like I keep saying, one game at a time. I know our guys aren't going to look past this game.
It's easy to say the right things. Everybody's been saying, hey, look, you have 17 games to play, and you're professionals, all that, but that carrot of the playoffs not being there anymore, it's a reality, right?
Yeah.
I mean, how do you kind of deal with, I mean, we don't have that goal in front of us anymore.
Yeah, it's hard. Obviously, it's a goal. You try to find throughout the season the balance of looking towards that goal, but also staying present, because if you don't take care of business in the short term, in the long term, it won't matter. And so I think for us, it's easy because it's one last game. We get to truly empty the tank. Last time this team will be together, and so we get to leave everything. We want to make this our stamp the last time we play together.
Aidan, obviously there's still one game left for you to have to assess it fully, but how have you performed to your expectations? Or could you give yourself a grade on how you feel you've performed in your rookie year?
I don't know if I can give myself a grade. I think there's been, as I've said kind of throughout it, there's been good and bad. I think more so just disappointed that we didn't win more games. I think that's will ultimately be what hurts the most, is not being able to pull out some of the games that I think we could have won. Obviously, we've been in every single game, and so it's been frustrating to not be able to go win some of those games, even coming down to the last drive. And so that's kind of the scar tissue that hurts. Obviously, we've had some good wins, but yeah, I think the lack of capitalizing opportunities and late drives and stuff like that, I think that's what I'm thinking about the most.
Is it part of that, like a feeling of it was just a play or two here, a play or two there, and it could have been postseason hopes?
Yeah, I think so. I think it's easy to look back, right? It's easy to think about what could have been and what you could have done in each game, and there's good times to do that, and there's not good times to do that. I don't think right now I'm really doing that. I'm gonna wait till after the season to kind of reflect more. But like I said, there's a task at hand that we're trying to accomplish.
All good?
Thanks, guys.
Thanks,
Yep.
Aidan.